Hey, coaches, got a fantastic guest tonight. Nate Connor is the head football coach at DH Conley in Greenville, North Carolina. Nate's been the head football coach there for 7 years. He's been at DH for 12 years, and he's a 14-year veteran, coached in college for a little bit. Florida guy, just found out, Florida guy from the Jacksonville area. This is how I ran into Nate. Of course, I've heard about Nate, known about him for a long time. He's got a very, very highly regarded in the state of North Carolina. But I ran into him a few weeks ago at the Eastern North Carolina Football Coaches Association clinic. And Nate was basically the leadoff speaker. And he did a presentation on quarterbacks and quarterback drills that was absolutely amazing. It really did, Nate. It sounded like a big league college football coach up there. The way, the detail and the enthusiasm and knowledge that you brought to the presentation. But I'm an air raid guy, and we don't do all them drills. So I asked Nate to come on and teach his very best drill to us, and teach it, come on and teach it just like he's teaching his own kids. And he was kind and agreed to do that. So, buddy, I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you doing this for me.
Coach, I really appreciate it. I appreciate the kind words. I didn't know who I'd have in there listening to speak, and it was an honor to be able to speak at that event. And I appreciate you being there and having those wonderful things to say. I've been blessed to have some other coaches teach me things and have great players to come in willing to work with me on it. And I've continued to evolve as a coach, and I want to just help share some of that knowledge with some of these guys. And so I appreciate you having me on the podcast or on the show. We want to get to, so then they can understand, hey, I need to do this. I need to take my V step, which I call it, that's 45-degree angle to the line of scrimmage. That's going to be able to get my front shoulder over so I can set my platform the right way, not be swung open. The same with those screen throws and everything else. Okay, so that is set your path. And like I said, I think you can go, and I'm going to show you another drill here where I think it's very similar. This is what we call down the line, and it's very similar to what we just did, but now we're kind of just working down a line that kind of gives us another reference point to our throw. So the quarterback's coming down here, he's taking a snap, his feet don't change, okay? Now, mechanics, again, I'm not talking about his upper body mechanics. Right now, I'm focused on his lower body mechanics. And so I want him to set that path, but get in this position to make this throw and be accurate on the throw. So all we'll do now is work down the line. And again, I can do this with a screen throw. I can do this with a one-step. I can do this with a three-step. I can do this with RPO footwork. But I'm setting my path to my throw. So if I were to take a three-step, now I just work down the line, and this line would help me stay down my line. But when I get to the top of my drop, I'm still setting my path to be able to make my throw. Okay, getting down that, and all he's going to do is work down the line. But he's working down the line, but he's still setting his path. And that path allows me to set my reference point to make my throw. Getting down the field, and now this isn't necessarily a throw we make from our one step, but we're just moving our feet, and getting to different angles and adjusting our body and setting our platform and our base, being able to get our front shoulder, our front hip, and to the ball. Now, can we be wrong at this? Can we overly swing? Can we swing open and close our hip off? Sure, there's all those things we can do, but we want to make sure that we don't waste steps. If I'm throwing quick game in the same sense, if I'm throwing quick game, what I don't want to do, I'm working on time, and I'm a timing-based offense. I don't want to take a three-step up, hit and be all over this and have to reset my feet. I want to be able to set my feet, get my ball, read my flat defender, whoever I'm reading, and make the throw based off of it. And that's where this mechanics come in. You can see him coming to the left side here now. Nothing overly complex. We're just working down the line, setting our feet, coming through, and this is a great drill that we'll almost do almost every single day. Working down the line in some type of way, just setting our path on our throw. Okay. Now, the next thing I think that kind of coincide with this is just building on top of setting your path. And I'm a huge believer in, there's a lot of mechanical drills we can do, and we do them, right? We work on drops, we work through bags and having our movement, because we don't ever just stand still in the pocket. But when we're working on base fundamentals, that's where our platform always starts from. And now I want to put routes with it. I want to throw routes on air. I want to now, instead of throwing to a stationary target, I want to throw to a spot. And that's for the receivers as well, the quarterback. The quarterback's not necessarily throwing to the receiver. He's throwing that hitch to a certain spot on the field. He's throwing that slant to a certain spot on the field. He's throwing that fade to a certain spot. It's his job to set his path and be able to throw it. Now he has to make the read to throw the ball to that proper spot, but he has to throw the ball, and then it's the receiver's job to get open and get to that spot and find that space. But it takes timing to be able to do that. So routes on air is a huge thing. We have to now be able to coach receivers and quarterbacks in live action, not with the defense, but going through routes on air to work on these fundamentals, these mechanics and timing to be able to put this into a game situation and eventually build on it to a defense. So you name your route, whether it's a speed out, a post, a dig, a bench route, a curl. We want to master those routes on air with timing with our receivers, and we hold them to those proper steps just the way we want to hold our quarterback to the proper steps in their drop. So when we don't have that quarterback taking 3 steps in a hitch and then hitching 3 more times and expecting our offensive line to have to protect for that period of time. We want to be able to put his foot in the ground and get the ball out. So that's where our routes in air and our timing comes. So they get a radar, they get a timer in their head to be able to, hey, when I put this foot in the ground, my mechanics are good. I should have great confidence that if my read is right, my platform is good, my timing is good, and I got confidence that my line's going to block, I can be accurate on this throw and complete the pass down the field. So run routes on air. It can be one route at a time. Then you can progress that to the concept. And then when we get to concepts, what we'll go through is a read progression. So I'll just take a simple snag progression, okay, when you talk about that. I love a snag concept because I think you get a horizontal stretch of the defense, all right? You get vertical stretch and you get horizontal stretch. You're putting guys in 2 binds. So now this is the concept we'll have, and we teach our guys middle of the field open. This is necessarily, we should be coming to this side over here, right? We should be looking to our numbers over here. We might change our concept up on the backside, but we get middle of the field closed where we might have, 4 underneath defenders, 1 high. We might not want to throw the corner route into a deep third corner and then have 2 underneath linebackers that are able to drop underneath our swing route and our spot route or our sit route. So now we want to have a slant flat concept on the back. Now, our footwork might be different to both sides of these, but now when I'm taking, if I'm going to my right and I'm going through a 3-step progression, what I'm going to do is now I'm thinking about my progression that goes with it. Can I set and throw my path to each one of these routes and routes versus air? Throw my corner route? Absolutely. Throw my swing route? Absolutely. That still comes to my path. Can I throw my sit route? Absolutely. These are all things that I'm working on, but now I have to put it into the whole concept and hold these guys to paint the whole picture. So this is the play we want, right? Well, we can run routes on air versus no defense and everything else. We can run slant flat to the other side, and we can have 4 quarterbacks doing that if we had 4 quarterbacks, or we can have 1 quarterback choosing which throw he wants to make. But don't take away from routes on air. It might be, there's a reason, again, air raid guys, and they make that a staple in every single thing they do. I think there's a reason they talk about timing and everything else is because routes on air is extremely important. We can do all kinds of quarterback drills and everything else to work on mechanics, but we have to be able to throw to receivers and put the ball in spots and throw to moving targets all the time. Okay, so this is what it would look like. Again, I'm just showing you to a 1 high structure. To now we'd ask our quarterback maybe go to, if he reads cover 1 and he thinks it's cover 1, then we still like the corner route to cover 1, but we could still go to that. But we also have our slant flat to the black side if we're getting a cover 3, and we can find this flat defender and throw a quick slant flat if we like that. And now we're 1 step setting our path to the left, and now we're just targeting our flat defender over here. So take that same drill we did, and let's just read this flat defender and throw off of him. And if we make our read and our guys protect and we set our path the right way, we should have a great opportunity to be accurate on that throw. So the drill we'll do a lot of times with that is a drill. So now you can have receivers go stand in stationary spots. You might have targets. You might have a net. This might be a dad. This might be another quarterback. And basically what I've got is I've taken those same corners, those same routes. I've taken that corner route and I put a target here at that corner route. I've taken that swing route and I've got a target right here at the swing route. And I've taken that spot route and I've got a target right here at this spot route. Now really what I need, and you can do this with players, or you can do this as a coach with coaching cues. you can say this route's covered and they have to know what you're going to. This is just to kind of simulate that. So I want you to go back to my previous, right, and go to my concept. And this is what I have here, right? I have a corner, I have a spot, what we call a spot route, and we have a swing route. So now I just got cones at those destinations out on the practice. Okay, and all I'm going to do, I might be standing back here as the quarterback coach, and if I've got players in a perfect situation, I'm working on a drill, and I got guys here to catch at every single spot. What I'm doing is I'm directing these guys on what I want to do. All right, and I'm going to teach our quarterback. Our first read in our concept here is to find the corner, right? And if the corner drops underneath, we know we're canceling away our corner route, right? He drops underneath that right now, we're canceling that corner route away. So now we're working our underneath throw. So now at that corner, so I'm telling that corner what I want him to do. I either want that corner to drop, so he takes that corner route away, or I want that corner to chase this spot route that's coming in there. And I'm telling him one or two things to do in there, right? And the quarterback's going to react based off of that. Now, if the quarterback sees corner chase right away, nothing else matters. He is locked into making this throw right here to the corner. And it's up to this guy to either beat his man coverage or beat this safety to that spot right here. So if you're getting a cover two look, anything like that, corner sits. Now I just got to take my steps. I got to set my path, and I got to throw my ball out to the numbers at 18 yards. And that's what my responsibility is. So that's where set your path comes in. I have to read my position right here. I have to take my footwork, be precise in my footwork, and then I just have to be accurate to my spot. Now, I'm sorry I don't have this moving, guys. I'd love to be able to show you that. Now, okay, I'm going to tell this guy something to do. If I tell him to drop back, then I'm going to tell this guy something to do as well. And I might either have him chase the swing route, which is now going to open up this route. And this is great to do with players too, because now what do we teach this guy? As soon as you cross this flat control defender, you sit it down inside right here, right? So I'm going to teach him, hey, quarterback, this guy bails out. Now I got to find my flat control defender. He swings out here, ball comes right now. And we got to get it out of there before this linebacker who's reading our eyes and following the swing of three and that running back can get flat to that. So we have to be able to make that decision. So as I'm setting my path and my throw, I have to find this guy first. If he bails, my eyes have to go away from him, and now I have to set my path back to my throw based off of him. And if he sits and he waits for that spot route to come in there, now I've got to set my path out to my swing route out here. And I can constantly get tons of reps without doing 7-on-7, without doing anything else on that. But it's getting mental reps, and it can be physical reps of coverages, as well as coming back here and taking my path and doing that. And it's no different right here, setting my path if I'm throwing my slant flat concept. So now we're going to work the other side. And this can be any quick game. It can be your screen game right here. Okay, now if I'm reading slant flat, I am finding this flat control defender right away. I'm not worried about anything else. Okay, and if this guy flies to my flat route, then I know I'm throwing this right off of his ear hole to my slant window. And if he drops at all and doesn't carry that flat, now I know I'm ready to spit that ball out. And I can't get that ball accurately out to my spot without having a sound base and being able to get to it. And that's where it all comes back to and comes into play. So it might be something simple. Are there complex things with throwing the football and everything else? Sure, in a position. But you don't have to become complex in your drills, I believe, Coach, to get effectiveness out of those plays.
Buddy, I thought that was fantastic. I love your path concept, especially that hallway picture of just getting their concept of establishing their path. And I love your base footwork concept. You know, I've seen I can't remember where I was. It might have been at UNC, and I think I've been to a pro practice where they follow the quarterback around. They got a guy just filming his feet, and you know, so you've just taken that concept, and I just, when you were going through it, I kept thinking, you know, not a single kid that's not in your program understands how important those feet are, but you're teaching yours right, you know, day one, right out the gate, that feet make throws. And and then obviously I was thinking, and there's no dads in the stands that understand how important those feet are either. That is not the arm, it's the feet that makes the throw. So man, that was fantastic, and you just simplified it just perfectly, and great job. And I know guys are going to love this, but your whole presentation, you had about an hour presentation and just went through drill after drill after drill of the same kind of just common sense, fundamental work to get a quarterback to the next level. And I just thought you did a great job then, and I really think you did a great job this time. It's going to help a lot of people, man.
Thanks a lot, Coach. And it's a blessing to be able to be on here. And look, Coach, you share so many things out here, and you do such a great job. And to be able to throw one little thing, I'm happy to help whoever wants help. And that's how I get knowledge. I play wide receiver, and I love the wide receiver position. That's my passion. But I've had to learn a lot of things about quarterback play, and it just takes a lot of work. And again, I think it all comes back down to something we talked about on the podcast was we got to continue to find ways to simplify things for our guys and to make them how complex it might seem complex, but how simple can it be?
Well, you did a great job, man, and I appreciate you doing it. And I didn't tell you, I played wide receiver. I played wide receiver at Valdosta State, and
Okay.
I was their most valuable scout team player for many years in a row. So
The Blazers, Coach. That's a great program. And so, kind of with that, I played my last year at Jacksonville was Kerwin Bell,
uh,
Coach Bell, and Coach Bell won a national championship at Valdosta State once he left Jacksonville.
that's right, that's right.
Man, what a great tradition Valdosta State has throwing the football, and man, they've had some great football come out of that place.
Well, when I was there, we weren't throwing it a whole lot. We had we would make fun. We played three different wing T team. I'm not wing T, wishbone teams. So all the scout team guys would say, "Man, if we went to Jacksonville State, we'd fit right into their program because we had to simulate their offense so many weeks in a row." So anyway, that's scout team all American stuff information there. Buddy, you did fantastic, and I appreciate you coming on doing this.
Thanks, Coach. It was a pleasure.